I'm Cindy Arenberg Seltzer, President and CEO of the Children's Services Council of Broward County. Welcome to another edition of Future First, Focus on Broward's Children. Summer is in the air, and nowhere else will you find greater excitement at that notion than in the faces of children eagerly awaiting that last school bell to ring. For many of us, however, this is also a time to consider the fact that thousands of students in Broward County will likely return to school in the fall without the proper supplies or clothing, unless the community takes action. For the past 5 years, the CSC has supported the Back to School Community Extravaganza by issuing a challenge grant and engaging dozens of partners and funders to ensure that these children have the opportunity to walk to class with crisp new uniforms, shoes, good quality backpacks, and grade-appropriate supplies that will allow them to focus on social and academic success. Joining me to discuss why it is important for the community to come together around this issue and ensure a successful return to school are Jody Sampson, Broward County School Social Work Team Leader, Daryl Gashler, Director of Corporate Engagement with Hands on Broward, Netta Sater, President and co-founder of Running with Soul, and Henry Crockett, founder and president of the Crockett Foundation. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for joining me today. Jody, I want to start with you because I know from your vantage point at the schools in the North area, you had seen a need for this and had actually initiated this back to school drive 10 years ago. Tell me what was going on and why you thought it was important.
Well, one of our social workers had gone to a conference in Hillsborough County and brought back this idea of having a back to school event, giving out supplies and backpacks. And we always have families in the fall that will come to us as social workers, you know, needing school supplies and things like that. So we started very, very small and probably served maybe 100 families the first year, and it grew a little bit second, third, and fourth year, maybe to about 300 or 400 families. We expanded it to give, we were getting gently used shoes from In Jacobs Shoes at that time, and also some used reading books. And then we approached Children's Services Council because the need was getting bigger than we were able to handle with the small fundraising that we were able to do. And they came up with
You got connected with Sandra Bernard Bastian,
yes,
a force of nature.
my savior. And thus came the challenge grant, and we just blossomed and bloomed from there. And every school is assigned a school social worker. So every school in the district has families that have needs, and it has just grown so large, and we've included so many. What we've tried to do basically is to eliminate some of the duplication of services in the community so that we're all doing one big thing, and we haven't succeeded in including everyone in the fold. However, we've gotten very large and we have some wonderful partners, and we now give out fully supply-filled backpacks, strong backpacks that last, I'm sure, most of the year, if not the whole year. We have new shoes for the children now from wonderful organizations that are fundraising for us and donating shoes. They also get a uniform outfit if a child is in need. And we get a lot of reading books donated. Houghton Mifflin also helps us by donating some new reading books, and we get books from other places. And
And one of the things that I think may surprise viewers, I know when you first came to us and Sandra talked to me about it, you know, it said there's so much attention on homeless children, and that's not who this is about. There's work that goes on for the homeless children, but this is actually another group of children that are living in conditions that are not ideal. Their families are still struggling. They're what's now coming to be known as the Alice families for the most part, these asset-limited, income-constrained but employed families that are not making enough to actually meet all the needs.
It costs a lot to equip a child to go to school today.
I tell my child all the time, she's a very expensive habit. I don't know about you, Henry, but
Without a doubt.
yeah, I mean, it's a lot. And if you have 2 or 3 or 4 children, It's a very large expense, and for those people that are living paycheck to paycheck, it's difficult.
Now, Daryl, when we first got this going and when we got involved, and I think the schools were using you a little bit before, but this started with us collecting supplies and actually stuffing them at the CSC office. We used our staff, but of course, like always, we turned to Hands on Broward. Can you talk about your involvement?
Absolutely. So the exciting thing about this event is the Back to School Extravaganza has truly turned into one of the most popular events that Hands on Broward has the pleasure of managing in the community each year. Over the past 5 years, starting from very humble means, in 2011, which was my first year being involved with coordinating volunteers around the event, in the boardroom, getting volunteers, over the course of a few days to pack the backpacks, get all the supplies together, and right away we saw the potential of exciting the community around the event, because these were volunteers that weren't necessarily going to be the beneficiaries of the event. They didn't necessarily have a touch point with the Back to School Extravaganza outside of coming in as a volunteer, learning more about the event, raising awareness about the needs in the community, and then seeing how much of a difference they could have by getting hands-on and being the ones that are physically packing the rulers and the notebooks and the pencils into the backpacks and then zipping them up, and knowing that in just a matter of days, if not themselves, another group of volunteers is going to be helping actively with distribution of the backpacks to the children that were going to be receiving them. And so, we fast forward to where we are now, and I think just over 1,200 volunteers have been involved in the past 5 years. Over 7,000 hours of volunteer service have been contributed just to this, one event, considering the few days of prep that we have at the sites and then the actual distribution days. So it's been a lot of fun, and again, the volunteers have really rallied around the idea of not only helping, but learning more about the different entities and organizations and nonprofits that are involved, such as the others that are here with us today.
This is so amazing. For a couple of years, we did the distribution at the Bank Atlantic Center, and walking in and seeing all the supplies, and also building in the resource fair. So they're getting a really comprehensive experience.
That's right.
And one of the fun things at the Bank Atlantic Center was looking down and seeing the whole floor covered in shoes, thanks in part to Running with Soul and Jacob's Shoes and Converse. You want to talk about that?
Well, we initially got involved with CSC. We made contact with them. We really wanted to impact the community. We are a not-for-profit that collects shoes, actually running shoes, because I'm a runner. And so we started donating our old running shoes, because you can still use your old running shoes to somebody that is less fortunate. But when we joined with CSC, our organization decided that we don't want to give children used shoes any longer. We want to give them new shoes. They're walking into the school year with all these children that are equipped with new shoes, new outfits, new backpacks. So we decided no more new shoes. No more used shoes, sorry. We flipped the used shoes, and we got new shoes for the children, and each year it's gotten bigger and better, and actually it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun we dress up, we go to the event in our little tutus, and we dress up and we give the children their shoes, and it's a lot of fun to talk to the children and see their excitement. So
And they actually get to shop. I mean, it's like they're in a store. I've gotten to man that a little bit too, and we ask them their size, and they go over and they can look from a selection of different shoes and actually pick and not feel like there's something wrong with them.
exactly, and sometimes the parents will pick for them. So,
Well, that's typical, yeah.
so it's a fun event, and it's actually a big event in the community, and it's something that I think a lot of other organizations need to be involved in, because it actually is helping the community and helping our children, and we see the impact, and it's a direct impact, which is what we enjoy.
And Henry, you were doing this on your own. You're one of those that we've now brought into the fold to join in and make sure we're avoiding duplication, but also give you the benefit of some of these other resources. Talk about what you've been up to.
Well, how we kind of started, we kind of backed in it a little differently, and we kind of used back to school as like dangling that carrot in front of the kids, because our event was more circled around the community. We wanted to make a community health festival. How can we get our community more healthier? So we started this event where we provide all these different resources that a lot of the citizens don't know about, and they're able to come get these, get blood tests done, HIV testing, breast cancer, all these different kind of resources. They come, the kids can get the immunization shots free at charge. So we brought all these tools to the table, And in our first year, we had the backpacks and school supplies as part of it, but we realized a lot of the kids wasn't utilizing the services. They get the backpacks, they was gone. And I guess that's where the duplicating the services come, because during that time, it's a lot of other, school supplies being given away other places. So what we did was we created a passport, and we made it a point that we want you to go out and utilize all the services that's been provided for you guys. So in order to get the backpack and school supplies, you have to go and participate in the health fair. And so that's how it all came about, because we've done so many football camps and all the different things in the community. We started noticing a lot of the kids were missing the first day of school, first week of school. I even had kids taken out of my program because they didn't have immunization shots. So that's how the immunization shots, as we work closely with the kids, we kind of recognize certain things that the community needs, and we add those things throughout the years. So it's been awesome. We're excited about partnering with you guys because it's going to expand our reach, because our overall goal was to just expand throughout the county. And we was in our little niche because it was comfortable, and we were serving a lot of kids. But like I said in the beginning, our overall goal was to expand our reach, and we've since partnered with CSC with you guys. Thank you so much, Cindy. And we're excited about what's going to happen.
Well, expansion certainly is the word. We're now, I think, going to have about 6,000 backpacks this year. I can't count how many shoes it's going to be.
Yes.
And immunizations at all three sites. But now I want to take a look at what happened last year so that folks can get a sense of what has gone on in the past.
All right.
Not only do they get backpacks filled with their school supplies for the year, which are all tailored, whether they're elementary, middle, or high school, but they also get uniforms, they get shoes, they get books, they get the opportunity to get books for fun reading, and then they get connected to services. They can get their immunizations, they can find out about kid care, they can find out about other programs that the Children's Services Council offers, and our many partners. And I want to be clear that none of this could happen without the true community partnership.
On behalf of Broward County Public Schools, our great superintendent, Mr. Robert Runcie, and all of us at Broward County Public Schools, we want to thank our partners for being with us and supporting us so well in this initiative. This could not have been possible without the support of the Children's Services Council, our signature partners, who we had the idea, they took it, they ran with it, and made this such an awesome event. We want to also thank Hands on Broward for all the volunteers that come to help us, because without the volunteers, we could not do this as well. Of course, our school social workers who have worked tirelessly all summer in ensuring our families are registered and that our families show up for this event.
Our families are very excited, they're happy, it's been calm.
I think every parent wants to make sure that their kid has the best chance possible. When they know their kid is going in there with everything that they need to succeed, it does a world of good. It makes their heart feel good.
My name is Vanessa. Yesterday I was fortunate enough to be in Coconut Creek as a mom with my two kids receiving donations at the Back to School Community Extravaganza. And today I'm at the same event in Pembroke Pines with my boys, and we're helping give back to this community. And to me, I feel very blessed and appreciative that I'm on both ends. I was very blessed to receive the school supplies, and then today I get to see or help out with other parents in need as well.
We usually do this back to school extravaganza every year, and it's just been amazing to see all these families come through and get supplies for the kids. So it's been just a really, really fun and great event. And I have my youth volunteers with me, and they're going to tell you a lot about what's going on with them and the event.
So my name is Kyle, and I think this is really cool because I like seeing the smiles on their faces when they get their shoes, and it's really nice.
Hi, my name is Ryan, and I like to see people very happy with like new shoes and new uniforms and backpacks.
My name is David, and I think it's pretty cool knowing that you're helping people who are less fortunate than you and giving them backpacks and shoes.
Good luck this school year!
Well, if that doesn't put a smile on your face, I don't know what will. So I'm sure our viewers are now wondering, how do I get involved as a volunteer? How do I contribute? If I'm a parent in need, what do I do? Daryl, volunteers, how do they get involved?
We're ready to inspire, equip, and mobilize anyone. As you saw in the video, truly any volunteer of any age is able to make a positive difference in the community, and that's what we want to see happen. So any volunteers interested in getting involved can visit handsonbroward.org, learn more about the community Back to School Extravaganza, see the different roles that they can take part in, and then join us on the event day or during one of the prep days to come out and lend a hand, make a difference.
I loved that mom who came one day to receive and the next day to give. That's so powerful.
Yeah.
And Jody, for the parents out there who may be in need, I know that it's, by the time this show airs, it's going to be too late to sign up to receive in August, but what can they do?
Any parent in need can contact their child's school and ask for the social worker, and we will have supplies in the fall when school starts to be able to give to those children that weren't able to be referred in advance.
Because we're going to put together and purchase probably 6,000 backpacks.
Right, we always have some
and
left
some will
over,
be
yeah.
left
Oh, yeah.
and distributed to the social workers.
Absolutely.
And what about if they want to get shoes, if they want to be involved in the shoes?
Well, they can go onto our website, runningwithsoul.org, and fill out the form for the donation of shoes. All they have to do, it's very simple. Clean your closets. Clean your closets and we'll take any shoe. Any shoe will be turned into a new shoe, which will ultimately change a child's life.
Talk about that, turning it into a new shoe. How do you do that?
So we've partnered up with a company that actually recycles the shoes. So they give us a price per pound of the shoes. And what we end up doing is with the cash that we receive, we go buy new shoes for the children. So we really turn your old shoe into a new shoe.
And just tennis shoes or running shoes? Or
We take everything and anything.
Okay, great.
Right. Cindy,
Yeah.
right now as we speak, there's over 50 of the public schools collecting shoes around the county. And those shoes that are collected, the gently used shoes, will be given to our shoe organizations, Running with Soul and In Jacob Shoes. And as she said, they turn them around. Sometimes some of them in Jacob Shoes, they are cleaned and used to give back to children. But for our events and for our back to school, we pretty much are able to give everyone new shoes.
That's incredible.
It's amazing.
So Henry, what do you want people to know about what's happening in North County?
I mean, as we talk, one of the most exciting things about this event, we put on a lot of different events throughout the year, and it takes time for you to see the impact that you're creating. But the Back to School Extravaganza, you can immediately see the impact. When you speak about this parent that one day she was receiving, then the next day she had the opportunity to come back and give back. And that's what it's all about. We're trying to create opportunities and resources for families to come out and take advantage of the things that we have. We talk about lighting the load. It's tough as a parent, especially when you're a single parent in these neighborhoods that we serve, because a lot of these parents are single parents. And you're having 2 to 3 kids, it's tough. And if we can lighten that load, I mean, it makes that kid smile brighter, and his chest, he'll hold his chest out a little higher, he's excited about school. And that's the overall goal for us. How can we go back to these communities and help these families? And that's what we're all about.
Yeah, in the early years, when you talk about holding their chest out, in the early years we had branded backpacks.
Yeah.
We had different and realized we don't want the kids to
correct.
stand out and be labeled as being needy. So they're really getting just nice backpacks with nothing identifiable, although there's a little information inside to
Correct.
help them out,
Yep.
but not on the outside that would make them feel in any way smaller than
Correct.
anybody else.
That's exactly why we did the new shoes.
Yeah.
That was the exact reason why. Because we said a child deserves to go back to school with a new pair of shoes like every other child.
And there are so many other resources out there. I think we saw some of that in the video. Daryl, you're doing things all the time to bring supply. You're always helping us with resource fairs. Talk about what some of those other opportunities are for them.
So, another wonderful part, as Henry had mentioned, with these types of events is the resource fairs and getting different vendors out that community members might not be aware of. That awareness piece is huge, not only in as you know, I spoke on behalf of getting the volunteers to be more aware of some of the organizations that are supporting this event, because these volunteers might be inspired by one of the organizations sitting here today and turn into a long-time or dedicated volunteer with one of those organizations, but also for the volunteers and the individuals that are coming out to take part in the event to see who some of the other players in the community are, what are some of the other resources they might not be tapping into, and how can they truly get the most out of what's right in their backyard that they might not already be connected to.
Now, Jody, I've seen a couple times in the midst of the joy, you have some parents who show up who have not registered in advance, and they get a little distressed. So there are things that they can do, though, if they show up. Can you talk a little bit about that process?
For the most part, we do get a few people that heard from a neighbor or do show up, and for the most part, we usually serve them and let them come in with their kids. If it becomes too much of the people that weren't on the list, then we've been taking down their names also and having the social worker contact them in the fall, or we tell them to contact their social worker in the fall. 2 of the 3 events are actually somewhat open because our central location, we partner with the YMCA, and they have a wider reach, and also with the Crockett Foundation, they have a wider reach. So there will be some people that will be coming just generally invited out of the community, and those students will definitely get the backpacks and the supplies, and hopefully we will have enough shoes to go around for everybody.
Speaking of the locations, we didn't mention where they were. Do you want to say where they're going to be this year? New Renaissance, I think,
New Renaissance Middle.
We've got Plantation High School.
Plantation High School and the Pompano Civic Center.
So
Yeah.
we'll have that available on our website for people to know, I think.
Well, they will do their own advertising, like however the Crockett Foundation advertises to that community, and then the community for the Central will advertise. The ones at New Renaissance will pretty much just be the ones that are invited through the social workers.
And that's really not an effort to be exclusionary, but rather an effort to avoid duplication and to ensure some sort of order to the day.
Yes, and the fact that we don't have unlimited resources, unfortunately. We would love to give out to anybody who needs it, but we focus on the children that we receive the referrals through the schools, so we know that these are children that are attending the Broward schools, and those are the families that are going to come. Of course, in the fall, when other families have maybe come into the community or they didn't hear about it from the spring, that's when we still have the leftover things, new shoes. We have the same things left over, and we're able to get it for them as soon as school starts.
And the Broward Education Foundation is partnering with us this year also, and they're going to have some...
They have a store that is used by teachers that teach in Title I schools, and they are able to get supplies for their classrooms and for students that are in need through this store. So the part of the Back to School Extravaganza collects loose supplies also, and those loose supplies will go to that store and the Broward Education Foundation to be used and given to teachers that need them for their students in these low-income schools.
Any last thoughts? We've got about 2 minutes left. Anything else you want to make sure our viewers know?
Just that, for any sponsorship, or if you want to help a child, it's pretty much $35 to outfit a child through our Back to School Extravaganza, and
Yes,
they get a lot.
We need a lot of them.
And we are very appreciative of all the organizations involved, and Children's Services Council especially, our signature partners.
And every dollar matters, no matter how much you can give, or if it's a shoe, a book, $5, $10, it all helps for the greater cause. As we saw on the video, every bit helps our community.
And parents, it's a good opportunity for you to come out and get involved. There's some amazing resources that are available for you, and you should really come out and take advantage of them.
It's a nice sign of how the community cares.
Correct.
I think for those who are sitting home thinking life is so hard and nobody cares that life is hard, it is hard, but there are a lot of people who care. And we've talked some about the institutions that care, but I'm really glad that you all brought out individual contributions are also so important.
Oh, absolutely.
It
They
really
add up.
shows, you know, when it first came to CSC, and it was like, well, should we write a big check? No, there's not really a point to CSC just paying for the whole thing, because it's about the community coming together in support of our families. And so that's why it's a challenge grant to the community and not just CSC picking up the bill. Thank you. So before we close, we would be remiss if we didn't recognize some of our key partners: the Jim Moran Foundation, Neighbors for Neighbors, In Jacob's Shoes, the Broward Sheriff's Office, Converse Shoes, the YMCA of South Florida, the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, Carlin Uniforms, and the Broward Education Foundation, who are among the key partners that I was just talking about that are there for the success of the Back to School Extravaganza. But for you, remember that just $35 outfits a child with a new uniform, a backpack filled with supplies, new or refurbished shoes, books, and more. If you want to donate by credit card, go to www.neighborsforneighbors.com. To donate by check, make the check out to the Community Foundation of Broward, write on the memo line Back to School Extravaganza, and send it to CSC Broward at 6600 West Commercial Boulevard, Lauderhill, Florida, 33319. If you're a parent or a caregiver in need and you have not received a notice to participate this summer, please make sure to reach out to your child's social worker when you start school. They will be most likely able to provide assistance to your children at that time. I want to thank Jody Sampson, Daryl Gashler, Netta Sater, and Henry Crockett for all they're doing to help our children succeed in school and in life. For copies of this or any other episode of Future First, go to our YouTube library through our website, cscbroward.org, like us on Facebook, and remember to join us next time on Future First, Focus on Broward's Children.